Yay, Tuesdays.
I'm having my lunch while we're hanging out, which is Hoppin' John with some yellow rice. And it's from a local place.
Pure Soul.
That actually won an award. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
So, and my Do Not Disturb is off, so I don't know why. And I'm not seeing any comments, which is very interesting, and I will get my other computer. So if you guys could try and put some comments. If it is, we updated recently, so that could be why. We might have another update to do. So, yay, I see a comment, and I'm thrilled. Hi, Delia. It's awesome to see you. So this is our mostly normal every Tuesday, except for when we're doing something else, right? Most Tuesdays, we're coming at you with Are You Scared of the Starch Solution, where Cheryl and I are talking about our current experience and answering any questions you guys have about the Dr. McDougall 12-day program, Starch Solution. I have some amazing news in that Stacy is going to be able to come in twice next month.
That's awesome.
So she's going to be in 2 of these. And if you haven't seen the one with Stacy yet, please go back and watch it. She's just brilliant. She works with the McDougalls in the 12-day program, and she's our support specialist. So she knows way more. She knows way more than most of the people. And and last time when we were talking with her, because I didn't realize it was a myth, this 50-50 plate thing.
Yeah.
50% starch, 50% vegetables, right? That's what you always hear the starch solution as. But that's the minimum starch.
Yeah.
Not the maximum starch. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, so that was a shock to us. So
yeah, and so hi Delia and Tracy Reese, Janice is here, Jennifer, Carlene, Marie, Diane, Always Learning, who I know wants to change her name and I never remember. Atomic Poppy, yay! Vivian, Jennifer. Cheryl would not let me wear my pajamas.
I didn't say anything about it. I just said, don't you think people are going to start to worry about you if you've got your same pajamas on the second day in a row?
See, isn't that a little bit like the same thing as she wouldn't let me? So she made me think about it. But I do have a new t-shirt. Actually, you guys can't see there's a little spider. There it is. Nope, there it is. Isn't that cute? I got it at Ross's for $9. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was at the Magical Kingdom for $30 or something.
Oh, more than that, probably.
Oh, and Kathy's here saying hi. Oh, woo!
That's huge.
That's way huge. Okay, some new things have happened here. I'm going to just close that. We updated this, which is always exciting.
Yeah, last night, just before we went to bed, so then neither one of us looked at it today till now. And we're also using brand new microphones.
Because we like to live dangerously.
Right. So whenever we use 2 microphones, it's because we can't use Kathy's regular microphone setup that she uses for classes and stuff because we never imagined having to use 2 microphones. So we've been using the iPhone and attaching microphones to it and then bringing it into the program through eCam. However, we got new phones on Friday. So the new phones don't use lightning connectors. They use USB-C like the rest of the world.
That's way too much information.
Okay, so basically
we got new ones, so we had to get new microphones, and we got better ones. Yay. So tech is good, and if you guys want to know more about our tech setup, you can always email Cheryl or email me. You can email support@healthyslowcooking.com and ask her questions. Tracy Reese says, nice, I don't need glasses to read that. I got to figure that. I'll pop y'all up there, but it's going to be like a billboard. Oh, Justine says, hi everyone, I'm at the hospital. Husband's having sleep apnea surgery. That sounds scary.
Yeah,
but you'll have to let me know how it goes. But I'm also scared, whenever they ask you if you had major surgery, I'm always like, I had my wisdom teeth out, and they look at me funny. So I could have a different sense of what that feels like. Oh, thanks. Diana says we both look good. And whoa, Cheryl, no hat. I keep telling her stop. She has super cute hair, but she does wear a hat. Before we went to Live Your Best Life conference in Sacramento with Chef AJ, which we're going to be talking about a little bit. We both got haircuts, and we go to Gavin at Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yep, Gavin's awesome.
He's super awesome guy, and he always keeps us entertained with stories.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hi, Nona and Rill. Oh, good. Rill says we sound great.
Awesome.
Because we just sort of did a mini test. Oh, thank you, Nona. Says that we're looking well. I'm getting a lot of those comments. Oh, thank you. Angela said, so I've been super crazy busy. And so I'm hoping after this and then tomorrow I may take a little time off while I'm filming a class. But
that's her idea of a time off.
That is kind of time off. I'll put my pajamas back on is what I'm gonna do. And I'm thinking I need to go to Ross and see if they have any more t-shirts.
We need to go to the grocery store.
Ooh, let's go do errands after this.
Okay. We'll wait until I get off work though.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll nap. All right, so someone was out, how long have I had my Breville Smart Oven? The spring on mine gave out. Is that on the door? They will replace it if it's the door. So there's a known thing with the door. And in fact, it'll tweak, and then you actually can't use your electric panel. They replaced it. What do? We basically paid shipping. So we paid like $100
on the Breville.
Yeah, was it like $80 to? This was a few years ago.
I think we paid $129 basically.
And so they send you a thing. You ship this part back, and then they just send you a refurbished one. So that's what I would do.
Well, actually, I think what we did was you can pay a little extra, and have them put a hold on a credit card, and they'll send you the new one first.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually refurbished. It's not brand new. And
I
they
would buy
send you that,
anyhow.
and then you can use the box that came in to send it back to them, which is what we did, and it works a lot better. As long as you return it within like 10 days or something like that, then they take the extra charge off and just charge you the $129 or whatever it is.
And we've had another appliance that we've gotten 2 replacements on when something broke. So they're really good about that. Thank you, Jennifer, for liking our haircuts. T.S. said, I thought I had read somewhere that on the McDougall program, if weight loss was slow, then you could do 3/4 vegetable and 1/4 starch. I think on the maximum weight loss plan, they say half starch, half vegetables. And that's usually maximum weight loss is you're trying to speed up your weight loss. Mm-hmm. We can ask Stacy that, but what she said very clearly the last time is 50% starch is the minimum amount of starch you should have, period. If you're doing something like a Mary's Mini, that can also supposedly kick off weight loss if you're at a plateau or something, or if you're just like, went on vacation and had all the things, and now you're like, now I want all the things. And what you do for that for 10 days, you pick one starch, like sweet potato, I don't know why I can't think of any starch. Rice, corn, yeah.
But not corn tortillas.
But not corn tortillas. You used to be able to do corn tortillas, but you can't now. Because I was like, I can game this Mary's Mini. And then you do that for 10 days, but you eat the same starch breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I had a friend who was kind of like, well, I just don't understand it. It just doesn't sound appealing. And that's the whole point. Is because the food is not tantalizing, right? And you're not like, ooh, I love this. I just want to eat. My taste buds want more of this. Now, vegetables and potato, on Mary's Mini, you can still have sauces, right? So you can put a queso all over that broccoli and your potato, as long as it's compliant, whole food, plant-based, no oil. So, And everybody is awesome. Liz from West Virginia is here. Oh, yay. Carlene is getting a new arc mirror. And I just made us some chai tea in the arc mirror. I did the same thing. If you go back on the channel, Saturday's class, which I did at Elizabeth's Chapel Hill Plant Pure Pod, I did a class. It's almost 3 hours. I out-talked the phone.
Yeah, so at the very end of that class, the phone does die on YouTube, and we have no way of getting it back, so it does not come back. It's just where it got cut off is where it got cut off, and we apologize, but we did not realize that she was going to out-talk the battery on her phone.
It was another new mic, and so we learned a lot about the new phone and that, but also I was in a room with people trying samples, so we tried herbal chai, we tried a Ticino, we tried a lavender cocoa, I think I didn't do anything with coffee because it was late and nobody wanted caffeine.
Yeah, you did Ticino and tea, I think.
But I made an Earl Grey, a London Fog, and all that I made in the arc mirror, which is the small one, a little bit bigger than the Nutter, but it's very great for small apartments or houses. And Liz Lena said, last night I had rice and beans for dinner at 7. By 10 I was starving. Too much starch or not enough vegetables. My understanding is the starch that keeps you full. Mm-hmm. But also what Dr. McDougall would say is if you ate rice and beans and you were still hungry, go eat some more rice and beans. Mm-hmm. Also, we found, and we talked to Stacy about this too, about like wanting to eat later at night. Do you want to take that one?
No, you can go ahead with
She has no idea what
I have no clue what she's
So,
talking about.
you remember when you were saying, I keep eating late?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Sort of.
Okay.
There's been a lot that's gone on.
I'm like, I'm the one that taught all the classes.
I'm sorry.
You've cleaned up the kitchen so many times. I shouldn't give her a hard time.
I'm a little bit of an airhead today, so.
You can't find me on YouTube, on Facebook user. Just look up Kathy Hester, Kathy Hester. I'm the only game in town. But if I come and find that comment later, I will put the link to my YouTube. So going back to eating late at night. So after the 12-day program that was really structured, even though it's a remote program, our behinds were in a chair mostly between 10 and 8. Mm-hmm. And so when we got done with the program, we started staying up really, really late, like till 2 for a month. It's not a smart thing. I don't recommend it. But also because we were staying up those extra like 4 hours, we were hungrier because your body needs to eat every X amount of hours while you're doing stuff. So I would look at that, but honestly, 10 o'clock is not a crazy time. So you might just have still been hungry. And so there would be a lot of other questions that like Stacy would ask you, like, are you trying to lose weight? You know, do you have a health condition? Don't answer the health condition thing. And some different things like that to obtain if it was just what happened. She might say, did you exercise extra that day or the day before? So maybe your body really is hungrier.
Yeah, that was one of the things that she was saying to me is because on days when we've like went on really long walks, I feel like I just can't get enough food. And she was telling me that that's normal. And so that made me feel a little bit better because I just kind of noticed that on days when we were taking like really long walks, like 3-4 mile walks, I was like really pigging out at dinner, and I felt guilty for eating so much. And then she was like, don't feel guilty because you're not eating too much. If you're hungry, eat. And it's hard to get past those feelings of, I really shouldn't be eating this much. So
we were just talking about this a little bit because like when you do the 12-day program, you have your own cohort. So my July cohort has 2 meetings on Zoom, and we were in there and because we were talking about something too. And I think in looking at some of this, you have to address a couple of things. One is how much have you suppressed your hunger and your hunger drive and how you acknowledge it. And I found that I was getting a lot hungrier. Like we were noticing, okay, 4 hours since we ate, it's time to go eat something again. Which before I'd be like, I don't really care if I ate or not. Hi, Max, come on over here. Come get a rubbin'. So that's a factor. So it could be literally you're just tuning into your hunger drive as well. Because society has told us, you know, if you're overweight, you shouldn't be eating. Something's bad. You know, all these super negative, weird, disordered ways of thinking. But I mean, I grew up in the 80s. Like, people, heroin chic and, you know, all of that. And, like, remember the Calvin Klein models that just looked like 12-year-old boys? And I'm not trying to shame their bodies at all, but, I mean, it was, and some of them were 12-year-old girls. Yeah. Literally, like, wasn't Brooke Shield, like, 14 or something like that, yeah. And she was the body type everybody was looking towards. So there's some of that. There's also, you know, learning, sometimes your body needs more fuel than others. And I know that we've talked about this too, the first day in the program, because they're like, eat till you're full. And so we ate a big bowl of oatmeal, like this kind of bowl of oatmeal full. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, I don't think I can wait till noon to eat again. And we talked to Stacy and she's like, you should eat another bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah.
And so it's a way of getting around some of that. I mean, we've talked about plant dads, and they're doing more calorie counting now, right now. And no matter what you do, my friend Katja does macros. It's what you want to do. However, we do try to keep things McDougall-y here. And in the McDougall way of looking at things with doing calorie density, in general, you don't have to go back and look at calories. There's usually just little things you can pull out. So, T.S., I would just say, did you feel okay when you ate? Did you eat some more? Did you go to bed hungry? Because Dr. McDougall is really big on add some salt and sugar to make the food palatable. Just eat the food. He literally just is like, what's the problem? It's the food. How do you fix it? Eat the food that makes your body happy.
I wouldn't think twice. If I had rice and beans at 7 o'clock and I started feeling hungry at 10 o'clock and was knowing that I wasn't going to go to bed anytime soon, I wouldn't think twice about having another bowl of rice and beans. I wouldn't think twice about it. And now, if I stayed up later and I started to get hungry again, say at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, then I would be like, you know what, you just need to go to bed. Because at that point, I think that I have just went beyond that. I just went beyond being hungry, actually really feeling hungry, into being snacky.
And so we do use the word snacky. It is not a doctor-approved term, but usually it's like when you're eating because you're bored or, oh, I really want a crunch. Ooh, I want something sweet. It doesn't have to do with the stomach. It has to do more with your mind and mouth.
Yeah. Bad habits that are old come back a lot, especially like if we're sitting around watching TV. Like we used to love to have like big giant bowls of popcorn in the evening. And so, you know, that's one of the things that we have to be really cautious about, because we have a tendency to slip back into our old watching TV habits pretty quickly. And we have to be really mindful of how much of that we're doing a week.
And also, it's not that you can't have popcorn on the McDougall program. It's just that having popcorn can make it harder to lose weight if that's your goal.
Right.
And also, he doesn't love the hand-to-mouth foods that you can eat kind of like not paying attention to things.
Yeah.
And Betsy said that's so counterintuitive, eating more starch. But it's so spot on. It does keep me satisfied. And also, Apple came back and talked to Stacy, or left a message for Stacy on the chat and said, I just want to let you know that I actually upped my starch and I got off of a weight plateau I was on. Mm-hmm. So, again, we're not experts. We're just telling you our experiences and telling you what we heard in the program, too. But it's very interesting. And Diane's saying, what's in my bowl? I've got some yellow rice and Hoppin' John, which is black-eyed peas, collard greens, carrots, a little bit of red pepper, celery, onions. And it's from a local place. It does have a little bit of oil in it, but actually it's not very oily at all.
I didn't think it was when I had mine.
So again, those of you who are new to us, we're doing the Dr. McDougall starch solution 90 to 95%. And what it means is that this is okay, right? It means I can go out to eat once a week if I want to. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get French fries, and things that are kind of make it harder to lose weight. We usually just have, usually we only have bread once a week.
So this was the first time that we went to a local place that, to us, we were making completely off limits, just because of the amount of things that they have there that are fried and things like that. But we love them and we want to support them. And so we decided that this week that we would go ahead and get something from the guys at Pure Soul, so we could continue to support them. And
it was after my 3.5 hour class where I basically, we'll talk about this later, but she got it at why you should find your local Plant Pure pod. Potlucks.
Yeah.
Right?
And I ate so much at that potluck.
I had almost nothing. I had this little bowl of soup and a couple of things. I probably had a cup and a half of food.
I had a huge lunch. She had hardly any lunch. And so we decided to go there, and and she was giving me the lecture in the car. It's not really a lecture, it's just her helping me, where she was like, okay, now if we go there, then this is the item on the menu that's going to be the closest, the most compliant, and that's going to be the Hoppin' John and everything like that. And I was like, look, if we're going to go there and this is going to be my cheat for the week, I'm going to get what I want. I still did pretty good. I did not get anything fried. I got the grilled chicken patty with romesco sauce on it with some yellow rice and a kale Caesar salad. I'm sure that Caesar dressing had some oil in it. Mm-hmm. But
it wasn't a bad choice.
I mean, they drizzle it on. It's not like they pack it in there. It's just drizzled on it. And it wasn't a bad choice at all. But here's the thing that happened. This is why it became a bad choice for me. Because we got home, we ate dinner, probably 5:30, somewhere around there. And I was like, yeah, it was good. I'm not going to want to crave that. I'm not going to want to go there next week. I like their food very much, but right now it's kind of.
When you mean crave, and let me just kind of, if you don't mind,
go ahead.
She just means that she's not waking up the next day going, I gotta have that romesco sauce again. So, because we know that some people are dealing with food addictions, and we're really analyzing what we do as we go along. Mm-hmm. So that's what she means by that. Not that it wasn't delicious and we don't want to go back there again.
Right. It was delicious. It can be in the rotation for maybe once a month, maybe once every other month. But here's where it got me into trouble. And I think probably some of you might have had this problem too. I was kind of proud of myself that I chose to have the, grilled option. And I thought, this really isn't that bad. Yeah, I'm getting some oil, but this is really not that bad. And had I stopped there, that really wouldn't have been that bad. But what happened was, it didn't fill me up. It left me feeling hungry.
And I had a sandwich. So this was the first fried thing I've had in a long time. Mm-hmm. I got and it's a vegan restaurant, so it's hot vegan honey chicken. I was like, all right. And so I got that on a sandwich, and I also had the kale Caesar salad. Mm-hmm. And we both, once we ate our stuff, I cut the sandwich in half because I'm like, there's no way I can eat all this. And I ate it, and when we looked at each other, we're like, we don't feel as full as when we eat rice and vegetables or
Right.
a potato with steamed vegetables, like not at all. So that's the pitfall if you're going someplace that's treaty as your 10%, right?
Yep. And so then what happened was, I'm like, okay, well, let me go get some fruit. So I went and got some grapes. I ate some grapes, and I was thinking, maybe that'll satisfy me a little bit and get me through the night. No. By 7 o'clock, my body was like, you need to eat now. And I started getting a little hangry. It was getting to be like where I was going to be super grumpy. So I was like, you know what? We got some brown rice in there, and I just went and I made brown rice and green beans, and I just ate a huge bowl of brown rice with green beans, and then I felt satisfied, and I didn't want to eat any more the rest of the night. But it was interesting to me to have that revelation that all of a sudden, like, here's the same thing that prior to McDougall that we would eat once a week, sometimes twice a week, because it was so convenient and where it's located and stuff.
And through the pandemic, they opened during the pandemic, so we were actively trying to support them. And they do a lot of Southern food. You don't have to only get fried stuff, but they also have some gluten-free options. I feel like when we went to, we both got a soul bowl, is what this is called, so it's Hoppin' John.
So we would have that in case the next day, like, we just were too tired to do anything, because we were still feeling a little run down from our trip, and and jumping back into work, and then going and doing a live event really drains both of us a little bit. So we were worried that we weren't going to be able, that for sure that she wasn't going to be able to cook.
And then I had to teach a class that night too.
That's
So
right.
I just wanted to have something so either she could go and grab something, I could grab something at the last minute. And because like one of the things Kelly's saying is I have to start batch prepping more to be more successful. And since we had just come back from this trip, we really didn't have a lot of batch prepping in place. We kind of just hit the ground running, literally. And all week has been just kind of crazy. And batch prepping can really help. But also, like with your snacking, that time, I'm going to call it snacking, your second meal, one of the benefits is we had brown rice in
the fridge.
And actually, I was like, I don't know what I want. I had some little baby potatoes that I had cooked, smashed, and air fried 3/4 of the way. And I have a big, like resealable Ziploc full of them. So we also put some of those in the air fryer. So we ate potatoes and rice. And because I think the danger in going out sometimes is that you're not full and you're eating as much of this really high calorie dense food as you would your not so calorie dense food. And I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like my portion of rice and my kale salad, just even taking my little, what do you think that patty's made out of, like TVP or?
No, it's made with soy and
Soy?
gluten. I believe it's Soy Delight patty.
Okay. So even taking the grilled patty out of it, I ate the same amount of kale and rice that I would eat if we made kale and rice here at the house. Yet somehow that, well, maybe it wasn't as much rice, was it? It was probably half the amount of rice I would normally.
Less than half the amount. Because even here, I mean,
yeah.
a lot of times we'll fill something like this half up, and I'd say that'd be about 2 cups. And fill it, stew, vegetable, whatever, and then sometimes we'll get some rice back. But having something you can just stick in the microwave and eat is very helpful.
Yeah.
Jennifer's saying, can Max sit in a chair between the two of you?
If he would, but he won't.
If he would, we would totally have it. But he's just, what he wanted was a TREAT.
Or a WALK.
Which will happen another time. He knows that word. Okay. And Betsy's saying, have you figured out how to recognize your hunger, fullness cues, or are you still working on that? How do you feel?
I feel like I feel like I am starting to listen to my body. I think it's kicking in for me more now because I recognized that when I went there that I needed more food, that I wasn't full, and I do recognize, like, some days I don't eat as much as I eat other days. And that's because I'm listening to my body. And when, like, say one morning I may eat a full bowl, like big giant bowl of oatmeal, like the next day we may both eat a whole big bowl of oatmeal in the morning, and that's what we use, 1 cup uncooked
Steel cut oats to 4 cups water.
right, so we get about a half a cup of dry steel cut oats each.
But the thing is sometimes she'll be like, can I take more? Yes. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm going to take a second, I think. And then there are other days where we just both take a little bit.
And it goes in the fridge.
And then I've been making creamy pints out of it, or we can heat it up. That's another good snack or dessert, is to take that leftover oatmeal, cut up some apples, put some cinnamon in there, put a little bit of your favorite
Right now is a
sweetener.
perfect example. We both ate the exact same thing for breakfast. And when we were getting ready to come on the live, she was like, I got to eat something. I'm hungry. And I'm not hungry at all. I'm still not hungry. And, like, maybe by the time we get off of here, I might be hungry. But right now, and even sitting here smelling her food and looking at it, my body's still like, you don't need that yet.
And it wasn't like, I think some of it is really taking a clean, clear, deep look at yourself and go, because gingins or something I've been having, I don't know, they're like dried ginger, they have sugar in them. And so sometimes, and they're teeny, we'll have a little gingin after dinner. But I had moved it next to the couch, and one night I ate 6 or 7 gingins.
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry. I was like feeding the gingin mouth monster,
Last night I got into chocolate chips. Chocolate chips that I had actually forgotten that we even had in this house, until they happened to be at the demo that you did. And then I was like, oh, those chocolate chips came home. And so I
better not be eating up all my milk chocolate chips. That's all I got.
No, I was eating the rice
cooking.
milk ones.
We'll talk after this. You may be in a little. You may be on a different kind of shopping mission because I don't know if they're making them anymore.
But yeah, I had, I've had them. I had some yesterday, a couple times. But anyhow.
But I think recognizing a hunger cue. So, like, the one thing that is like, is it hunger the first step, or is it
boredom?
I'm bored, I'm upset, I'm doing, I want to
stressed.
taste something, I want to be distracted from whatever's going on now. So that's the first thing. Then you go, okay, stomach. Do you feel like you need something? Like, for me, I was feeling a little lightheaded and hungry. So I was kind of like, okay. The other thing to think about when you're doing all this is when you're eating until you're full, are you eating until it's the biggest Thanksgiving of your entire life, right? I think everyone has overeaten at least on one holiday. Thanksgiving is usually the traditional American one.
Yeah.
Where you unbutton your pants and you're like, whoa.
And you got to take a nap before the snacking starts after dinner, where you're having turkey sandwiches and watching TV with everyone.
So if you, and basically you feel bad, you feel sick. So because it takes some time for your stomach, when the walls stretch and you get that satiety feeling, to get to your brain, pardon me, it takes a little bit of time. So if you eat to an 8 out of 10, and I believe that's an Okinawan saying too. So it's not that you couldn't keep pushing things in, but you're not.
It's like pushing down the trash can. Right? It is. It's like pushing down the trash can, and it gets too heavy, and it's a pain in the butt to get out of there and to take out. You don't want to push the trash can down so far that now you can't get up and get it out. So don't push the trash can. Just let it naturally fill. And then when it's to the top, then you take it out.
Well, and how you can do that, like a thing to do, and we've done this too, is so I'll have dinner all out, we get our plates. We think we're pretty full, but we don't know yet, right? We got 10, 15 minutes before we really know. We go ahead and put everything up, but a lot of times I try to have microwavable combos, either for tomorrow's lunch or if we're still hungry in an hour or a half an hour.
And a lot of times one or both of us has been like, did you put that up yet? Yeah. Well, I'm going to go get some more. And then you got to go through the action of actually fixing it again. Like you have to take it out, you have to heat it up.
It's not that hard, but yeah, you have to do something. It's not just opening up a bag of chips.
But if I wasn't really hungry, if I wasn't truly hungry, I don't know that I would make that much effort to go for
Fair
that
enough.
food, right? So that's just me. I don't know if you're that way too, but like
it depends. If
I
I'm
would come in the
hungry-
kitchen and I would go, yeah, I don't want to take that stuff out. I don't want to put it in the microwave. I don't want to go through all that. I don't want to clean any dishes. And then I would look over on the counter and I'd go, ooh, there's an apple. And I would grab that apple.
Yeah. So
Or I would grab some grapes or something out of the fridge.
Before it would be, let me get a handful of fried corn chips.
Yeah.
I mean, and one of the best things that we did before the program even is to get all the chips. Like I'm just not good with having them in the house. There's some things like we still have chocolate bars and chocolate chips and things that I use in recipe development. And we've really not hit it hard.
No, and I didn't even really hit them hard yesterday either. So there's still some in there.
If you ever want brownies, you better hope so. But it's just the way it is, and just kind of think about how that feels to you. And Mona's saying, how important is it to stop eating early? Sometimes I'm hungry right up till I go to bed, and you're still trying to lose. I know you're on the SOFIS program, I believe. So I don't know what Chef AJ says about that. But I wonder, are you eating enough dinner?
Yeah.
That's my first thought to you. Or are you exercising an awful lot after you eat dinner?
That's another.
Because both of those would be reasons for you to eat. Now, the reason, limited understanding, the reason the doctors don't really want us to eat up until bed is it's hard on our systems, and our actual digestive system needs some rest, just like we need sleep. And that can be hard.
I've noticed the later that I eat, the harder it is on me. Like it'll cause my blood sugar to be higher the next morning, just because it's not having as much time to come down. And then B, I usually wake up and I feel like ravenous already. Like I don't feel balanced if I eat too late. But that could just be me. And I think that Mona, would be a tremendously good question to talk to Stacy about
when she comes in
next week, because I think Stacy's got some really good tips about nighttime eating.
And another thing is, if you have any kind of acid reflux, that is another reason to not eat before you go to bed. And certainly you might not even want to eat tomatoes at dinner time, depending on how bad your acid reflux is. When I had gained so much weight during the pandemic, I started having more and more acid reflux. We were also eating later, so both things were making it hard. But if you're really hungry, I would say eat something, make sure it's not going to bother your digestive system or give you acid reflux while you're sleeping. And Liz said that night I had Ezekiel bread with low sugar jam and felt better. Because if your body says I need food and it really needs food, it doesn't help us. Yeah. I know there are different doctors about different intermittent fasting and things like that. I'm personally not to a point. Like if I feel like I don't want to eat breakfast, I don't eat breakfast. This morning I woke up hungry and I got hungry again. It's probably because my little brain has used up extra.
You were on your feet most of yesterday.
And the day before.
And the day before, so I think probably
I got like
your
no
body...
steps. I got so little steps for me to be so sore. But yeah, I was standing and working and cooking a lot. Mm-hmm. So who knows if that's why. But like Betsy says, what if you don't want rice and beans after dinner? And
I always go for the fruit, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, usually before I will go even to compliant dessert, which is usually for us fruit, oat Ninja Creamies, fruit Ninja Creamies, something like that. Yeah. I also want to make sure that I got enough vegetables and I got enough starch. Mm-hmm. So it is my first question. Then the next question is, what fruit do we have? Mm-hmm. Am I interested in that fruit? Mm-hmm. And I love pretty much all fruit. So almost always the answer is yes. But then if not, another thing I will do if I feel like it's just my mouth that's hungry and not my stomach or my brain is hungry is I'll make a tea. So I'll make herbal chai, which has like cinnamon and all these different spices, and we'll make a nice non-dairy milk with it. And that's very satisfying. So if you're having some mental issues with being full and not real physical hunger cues, don't ignore those. But there are other ways you can satisfy that. But yeah, fruit is great. Mm-hmm. Tracy Reese says, I don't care how much I eat, I always have to have something sweet. So an apple, orange, banana, if I'm really naughty, 2 figs, that's not naughty at all. Let me assure you, not naughty. And I'm the same way. They put Coca-Cola in my baby bottle. So, and I used to eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast in elementary school. So I am geared for something sweet. So yeah, fruit's a great way to go about that. And Justine says, speaking of popcorn, I love the pickle juice trick. Isn't it crazy?
I wish I could remember who told us about that.
It was somebody on one of these. And so if it's you, claim it loud. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Facebook user, I only get to see Facebook user and not your name, as you see there. I did Dr. McDougall's 10-day program in 2009, lost 80 pounds, have stayed between 135 and 130 pounds. That's amazing.
That's very
Congratulations. Lori says, I found for me when I feel hungry out of the ordinary, I wait 20 minutes. If I'm still hungry, I eat. But I found a lot of times the hunger goes away.
And she'll do that to me sometimes if I'm sitting on the couch and we're watching TV and I'll look over and say, I'm hungry. And she'll be like, are you really hungry? And I'll be like, I think I'm hungry. And she'll say, why don't you wait a few minutes? So then I'll wait, 15, 20 minutes. And then a lot of times I'll get up and go get a small piece of fruit and I'm fine. And then other times I really am hungry and I'll go fix something.
Get a big plate with like a whole bunch of whole grain rice and you'll steam your vegetables. And the reason I ask is not to be a naggy person, because when it happens to me, I ask myself the same question. Mm-hmm. Am I hungry? Should I just wait 15 minutes? And so I was trying to put this off because even though this is a sit down, and those of you who know me well know if there's a Zoom call, that's when my meal's going to be. So everybody...
And I'll never eat on camera.
She doesn't eat on camera, and I will eat. When I worked in an office, I'd be like, what time is the meeting? Great, I'll eat my lunch in there, and then I have an hour to go to Ross to look for Halloween stuff. So to me, I like combining things. Cheryl knows that too. I'm a very combined person because I do.
She likes to let's see how much we can get done in this small window of time.
Yeah.
Rush.
Or that you get to see all the friends because you have a bunch of people over for dinner.
Right.
And sometimes I do too much of that too, so I'll admit that. But, and Colleen is saying, I love Pure Soul.
Yeah.
And it's very tasty and they're very nice. And
so sweet.
There were a couple other restaurants that were in the same place, vegan restaurants in the same place, and this is by far the best. So Justine says sometimes drinking water or tea can curb my hunger.
Yep.
Yeah, we
If
feel like
if
we're
you
doing
haven't
good.
had enough water, for sure, water makes a huge difference. If you don't have enough water in you'll start feeling hungrier more, for sure. I noticed that when we were on vacation.
Because we didn't have our big things of water that we carry. We have water we make in the morning, and then if we're going somewhere in the car, we make sure we have it full when we go in the car, because sometimes thirst can mask itself as hunger as well.
And there's been several times that we've been out doing groceries and thought, oh no, we're going to have to get something to eat, and then we've drank some of our water and it's held us enough to get to the house and fix dinner at the house. So it makes a huge difference.
Oh, Sherry says that she tried to join a Plant Pure Pod in Katy, Texas. The Plant Pods have changed. They were under Nelson Campbell's Plant Pure Nation ownership, and now they're under somebody else's. But if you go to the Plant Pod community, I would try again. So it could be hopefully it happened during the swap over. If not, if you watch Elizabeth's Plant Pod, you could even go and ask her, and she knows some people, and she probably could help you, Sherry. Aw, Liz, I'm glad the conversation is helpful.
One other thing I wanted to mention about you eating this and how I said that I wasn't hungry, and so, I wasn't eating because I wasn't hungry. Before we did the McDougall program, I used to, if Kathy sat down and got a bowl of something, whether I was hungry or not, I'd be like, ooh, what you got? And I would have to eat some. Because I don't know, I just had this thing where if she was eating, I had to eat. And so a lot of times I would really be overeating because I would have already had my dinner or my lunch at work, and then I'd come home and she was just fixing lunch, and then I'd think, oh, I'm gonna eat that again, and then so.
Well, I think we can all get kind of caught up with whatever's going on, and there's times that we just eat mindlessly, really, or we're eating out of to fill the little emotional hole. Because I'm definitely a stress eater. And so the pandemic, that's how I put on 30 pounds during the pandemic. I'm not sure that there will be, that's a pretty stressful time.
Yeah.
With everything going on. I think it's about learning awareness. Whatever I know now, I feel like in 6 months, I will not know nearly as much about myself as my future 6-month self will. So, oh, boom. Angela lost some power, changed my power surge protector. I'm glad you're back. One anti-venom says, chocolate chips get me every now and again. I understand Cheryl's pain. I need small treats that are compliant, and I'm at a loss other than nice cream. I can eat my weight in nice cream. That one of the things I like about the Ninja Creamy Pints is that, when you spin it, you can just eat a quarter of it or half of it or all of it. Chef AJ eats her whole pints, by the way. Not everybody does, but not everybody puts just the most beautiful things in it that she does.
Yeah, she's eating basically just fruit, frozen fruit.
Yeah, and I mean, you can do applesauce. A perfect Ninja Creamy for right now is whatever. Chef AJ does not put any sweetener. She just uses apple juice as the sweetener. I add a couple of dates to give me a little caramel flavor going on, some pumpkin pie spice, and that's a really great way to do it. But it used to be Cheryl would not eat any fruit, and she won't eat all the fruits. Give me a berry, and I am just in heaven.
I don't like the seedy thing. The seeds bother me. I've never liked them.
And you don't like stone fruit either.
No, even as a kid, I would eat strawberry jelly. But if it had any kind of seeds or anything in it, no. So I don't like the actual strawberry fruit, but I like anything with strawberry flavor. Same thing with cherries. I don't
love strawberry ice cream. So
I don't like cherries, but I love cherry flavor. It's weird. I don't know. I can't explain it.
But what has happened? So I started this a couple of years ago. As I started cutting up oranges to make them really easy to eat, and because she Just make me crazy. I buy
Just
these.
suck the juice out of
I
them.
buy these expensive, beautiful oranges, and she goes and just hand it back to me. No. But now she's eating it because I'm like, I want you to get the fiber in there too.
I love them now, but they have to be really sweet ones. Some of them, we've got some bad ones. Like after what is that brand? That one that we.
Oh, you mean the variety?
The variety.
Cara oranges.
Yeah, once the Caras were gone, I was
are
like, yeah, I'm not
beautiful.
really that interested in your oranges now.
I'm less picky about oranges, and I like oranges better than I like cuties. Like the mandarins. The mandarins are beautiful and sweet, but they're a lot of work to peel open, which a lot of people like. When I have an orange, I cut one end off, cut the other end off, and then I cut it in half, and then I cut it away from the white pith that's in the middle. And so they're pretty clean. They look.
Yeah, I love them. They're great.
The other thing you've really gotten into is grapes.
I love grapes. You
and
know,
there's so many different grape varietals out right now.
I used to not like grapes unless they were like little grapes. I didn't like big grapes. It was weird. Like it's a texture thing for me. But now I like all the
those long
grapes.
purple grapes. You ate those. Those are so good.
What are those called? Moondrops?
Yes.
Oh wow, those are good.
I love those.
And I love all the varieties, like the cotton candy and the candy, the ones that are super sweet. And I like just a plain old green grape. Like I'll eat just a plain old green grape too. I just, but the more sweet the grape, the more it takes care of that urge for something sweet for me. And apples are kind of the same way. I like a sweeter apple.
And I'm getting ready. I have some date paste. It's from the Date Lady, so it's almost like slab o smush dates more than date paste. So I'm going to take that, put some vanilla with it, and get that and make a nice caramel dip so that this is kind of a nice fall thing, is to cut up an apple, have a little dippy with it.
We might need some new apples, by the way.
Okay. So Mary Ellen says, claps to you, Cheryl, for going brown rice and green beans instead of potato chips when you had your cheat meal.
Yep.
A lot of people would have done that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody's liking the trash can allergy. And Mona says, maybe I should have more starch for dinner.
I would
don't
give it a try.
always. So again, and I hesitate because I don't know the Sophus rules, but the base McDougall rule is not to have less than 50% starch. And the whole reason of doing that is in fact to do with your hunger. And it's kind of the opposite of what you think. You think, oh, if I only ate 25% rice and all the rest, these 200 calorie dense things, the weight's going to pour off, but you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
You're going to be hungry, so you're going to eat something else. And so even Stacy had said in the other one, you might find yourself going back for vegetables so often that you're actually end up eating more calories in vegetables than you would have in potatoes, which was very interesting too. Ooh, Carlene's Arc Mira's here. That's awesome. And Marcia says, I find I eat even when I'm not hungry.
Yeah,
And
I've been there.
I think it does happen. I think the first thing you can do is to start to be aware of it. If you can't get past that first step, Dr. Lyle takes appointments. So Dr. Lyle's pretty amazing. The talk he did in Sacramento was pretty awesome, actually. And beans take care of my hunger, says Angela. And Angela said to up my water for energy. That's a good thing, too. Yep. And Jane says, I'm not a seed fan, even in squash, the big ones with seeds. Yeah. And let's see what else. I used to not like apples, but I do now. Ooh, yeah, frozen grapes. I've been trying to turn her on to the frozen grapes.
No, I don't need them frozen yet. We'll see. We'll get there. I'm like, why do you want to put...
It's just because then they taste all frozen and yummy.
Okay.
Like sorbet.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Someone's watching us from Panera with their decaf coffee. And you told me your name up above. Am I going to be able to find it? Sandy. And can you help me remember Sandy of Always
Sandy.
Learning? I'm going to come back down here. I think you haven't had the right kind of mandarins. I think you do not know how tired and lazy I feel at the end of the day. Is what I like them. And sometimes when I am feeling very mentally snacky, it's nice to have something to do with my hands and pull all the little things up. But I also have to pull off so much of that.
Yeah.
Delia says, do you guys eat 3 meals a day? In general,
Just
mostly.
depends on the day, maybe. Like, for the most part, if we skip a meal, it's usually breakfast.
Yeah.
And then we'll just eat like an earlier lunch.
And then by skipping breakfast, we're making oatmeal every night.
Mm-hmm.
Some mornings, if we're not hungry, we don't eat it. Or if we get up really late, we might just go right to lunch.
Yeah, and so what we end up doing then is we just take our we just take the oatmeal that I made. We take the oatmeal that I made and we actually put it into creamy pints right away, and just put them in the freezer. And then she makes ice cream out of oatmeal, and it's fantastic.
It's real thick and it's a little bit touchy-feely, which is why I haven't put it up yet. So if you don't get it just right, the texture's going to be weird. I'm practicing until I can tell you exactly what to do. Have we tried eating frozen corn? No. I've made a frozen corn Ninja Creamy, and there is one thing that's really good, I think. I'm not sure if it's on plantbasedinstantpot.com or healthyslowcooking.com. It's Atole, A-T-O-L-E, and it's a warm corn cinnamon drink. That's fantastic. So I'm big on, I love corn and with sweets. But no, we've never just done corn. I'll get him.
It's got to be signed for.
Okay. Then why don't you block it? Are you sure? Are you sure it has to be signed for?
Yeah.
Max, we've gotten deliveries all day long, you guys. So I haven't written out my Ninja Creamy with corn yet, but I'll probably make it pretty soon. I also got... Hey, Cheryl.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't know where it is. Never mind. There's kind of this pumpkin spice applesauce. I'm going to try making a pint out of it and making, of course, a pumpkin pint. So that's going to be good. Jesse says, doctor called, husband's out of the OR and in recovery. Next week will be painful while he heals. Oh, I'm sure surgery just makes me super, super nervous. So one of the things that I will, since I said we were going to talk about our vacation, well, it wasn't a vacation, our trip. Let's see. Video says, what would you do if it was a delivery driver from Buffalo Wild Wings? I would laugh, yes. I would give the mom look. But, you know, so what we did is we went to Chef AJ's Live Your Best Life conference, which I highly recommend. It was amazing. She was kind enough to gift it to us as our graduation from the McDougall program. And that's why we went to Sacramento. We got in too late to have dinner with Chef AJ, but we ate at this Himalayan restaurant that Chef AJ told us about. She's like, near the hotel, there's a Himalayan restaurant. There will have a little bit of oil. And it was more of like Indian / Himalayan. And then later on we ate at a different Himalayan restaurant that's more Tibetan Himalayan. So I learned a little bit. The food at both were great. So I got a vegan thali platter, and I'm trying to remember, and we got some momos. And we had been traveling at that point for like 12 hours. So it was really nice just to sit down. The mom look is funny, I know. There's no doubt that you're in trouble. Cheryl, what did you get at the first Himalayan restaurant? Oh, I thought she was in the door. Cheryl?
Yeah.
What did you get at the first Himalayan restaurant?
Oh,
I can't remember.
it wasn't chop suey. It was something like
Oh,
chop.
tikka masala. Did you get tikka masala something? Like chickpea tikka masala? Tofu? No.
No, I got something that was more Asian-y.
Oh, lo mein.
Lo mein.
You
that's
did,
it.
because they did have Asian dishes. Thank you. That's my brain is like not seeing it.
Sorry about all the barking, guys.
She works for novelists, so sometimes she has to get all the things.
This one was for you, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the ladybug thing?
Yeah.
We're going to be demoing this like super cool steam cleaner thing. But anyhow, so we were tired, and so let's go back for the whole traveling. We decided not to bring any of our little pots to cook in because we were going to have so many oil-free options available in Sacramento. And with our 10% to play with, we'd be okay. So we didn't feel bad about going to the Himalayan restaurant, and I did taste the lo mein, vegetable lo mein. It was very good. I do love. Max is not having it.
Yeah.
And we got on the plane. We started traveling at like what, 11?
Yeah, it was 11-ish.
It might have been 10 that we left the house because Cheryl likes to get to the airport extra early. And it's just easier to give in.
Come on,
So we ate our oatmeal. I had some snacks on the plane. I had apples for the plane. We decided not to make sandwiches. Both of our layover there and our layover home was over an hour and a half. So we researched what we could get in the airports. And it worked out for us most of the time. I know what to do next time. So like we were going through Austin Airport. And we knew Austin was going to be great. We knew we were going to be able to get some vegan tacos.
Yeah, one of my coworkers lives in Austin, and he had already gave us the info that we needed for the Austin airport vegan scene.
And I double checked it because I'm that way. And if you go and you look up on Google vegan airport food, there are a couple of places you can go that actually tell you. And with there, we were going to maybe get, no, that was on the way back. So we got tacos. Mm-hmm. And what we should have done is gotten 3 or 4 tacos. And we got 2 tacos.
Yeah.
And then we got there a little late. There was a line. And so we ended up getting an avocado toast to take on the plane because it wasn't enough food.
Yeah, and we were also the plane arrived late, and so we lost an hour of the time that we thought we were going to have at the airport. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of changed things too, because then it was like, we need to hurry up, and the line was big. Let's get our food, scarf it down, and just try to head for the gate. And then we realized as we were finishing our second tacos, this is not going to cut it on this plane for 3.5 hours.
Because we had a whole other 3.5 hours plus then getting our rental car plus then going to get something to eat. And I did bring some That's It bars, which just are fruit. I did have a couple of Laura bars for an emergency, some apples and things like that.
Yeah. But grabbing the avocado toast was a great idea.
And we did that at Einstein Bagel. Mm-hmm. So it really was inexpensive. I just went ahead and got it while she was in line. And then we ate it on the plane.
Yeah.
So for that one, that was kind of our ding on, usually we don't do avocados, but sometimes we do. And then we got to the airport, we were still starving because it was a very long day. Because remember, we landed there at 7.
Yeah, we got there much later we got there after 7. We were supposed to get there around after 6 sometime or something like that. Somehow we lost an hour there. And
we had to take a tram to the bus, to the rental car place to wait for the rental car. And that's why we ended up not going to Chef AJ's.
Yeah, it was just too late. It was gonna, by the time we got there, it was probably normally her bedtime. So
Well, and not only that, she had been entertaining people,
yeah,
and honestly, we were just exhausted and hungry. Probably we were stinky too.
but she gave us the tip on the restaurant.
The Himalayan restaurant.
We got the
And
rental.
it was just like 2 miles from the hotel.
Yeah.
So we just went straight there, and they were very nice.
It was real close to the airport, too.
And I did, yeah, it was just like 2 miles away.
You said hotel.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you meant airport.
Oh, I did mean airport. My brain needs a reboot, y'all. And I left a review on Happy Cow. So if you guys go to Happy Cow, you'll see the pictures of our dinner.
Yeah.
But the guy was super adorable. He was like, take a picture and put it on Google. I'll take a picture for you. And I was like, and the food though was delicious. He's like, I made special vegan bread. He made some vegan whole wheat bread to go with the thali, which had like greens and lentils and like a Himalayan pickle, which was, instead of being like the Indian achar, which are more chunks of things, it was more of a sauce. It was very good, and nothing was fried. So I feel, it met our 10%.
And when we got to the hotel and we were completely satisfied. We didn't have to feel like we didn't get enough to eat or anything. We were feeling very happy and warm and fuzzy about it. Mm-hmm. And as that turned out, our budget hotel was smancy.
Awesome.
It was very nice.
I love me some Priceline.
We weren't expecting what we got at all.
I walk into this room, it's huge, and there's this giant TV with an aquarium scene playing on it all the time.
It had to be at least a 70-inch TV in there.
It was crazy. And it was right downtown so that we can kind of get to places.
We had views of the Capitol from where we were at. Mm-hmm. So it was really nice. And the hotel itself had like some outdoor areas where you could go sit outside, and they had little fireplaces that you could sit in front of. So it was a little cooler at night while we were there. And we were able to sit in front of the fire for a little bit, and that was nice.
I'm trying to remember.
And Saturday we went to Chef AJ's, and we had a lovely meal there.
But what did we have for breakfast? Oh, we went in the hotel.
That's right. We had oatmeal at the hotel.
And that was a little questionable. And like what Video 1000 Nights says, avocado toast is super good. Dunkin' Donuts also has it. It's not that it's not compliant. It's that we are looking to lose weight, so therefore we are limiting avocados, nuts and seeds, and flowers.
And also, yes, when we have traveled before, we have stopped for Wendy's.
You're going back up here?
Yeah. We have stopped for Wendy's baked potatoes before. And the problem that we keep having when we travel and go for Wendy's baked potatoes is they're always out of baked potatoes.
What is up with that?
So,
but I did bring some little things of California balsamic, and you guys, I have so much I brought back because like at least 15 bottles of California balsamics. Only one big glass bottle, and I'll show you those in another video.
I bought a new suitcase while I was there at TJ Maxx so that we could like check a bunch of stuff.
It was me, and I got some stuff from Local Spicery. Mm-hmm. Tracy Reese says, did we rent a car and drive around? We decided to rent a car because the thing wasn't in downtown Sacramento. It looked like it was off in possibly a little suburb of Sacramento. Mm-hmm.
It was about 20-minute drive from the hotel. 25.
Everything was about 20 minutes, kind of like around here.
Yeah, everything. We got to everything in 25 minutes, just like here.
It was good to have a car.
It was nice to have a car.
We probably could have just done there were vegan restaurants near us and things, but it was much easier to go to the places we wanted to go to. There weren't any really good hotels right around where the conference was, and even if we had gotten one of those hotels, we couldn't have walked there. We got a really inexpensive rental car. We weren't going to do it except we were going to Chef AJ's, so it was but it was just like $30 a day, and we got.
I don't even think it was that. It was $20 a day.
We got a Tesla. We got upgraded.
Yeah.
And so we got to learn how to drive an electric car. I say we. I Googled, she drived. But I'm the one who figured out how to open the car.
Yes, you are, because we
I'm
couldn't
very
even
proud
get a
of
car
that.
open. But it was very interesting.
We should have filmed all of
Yeah.
the things about that because you guys would be laughing so hard.
We were tired. And we just wanted to go eat. And the guy just handed me the keys and said, "There's the car," and pointed down the curb. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm looking around and I'm looking at this key that is just basically this, like, a key card from work, right? It's just this key card. And I'm going,
And I'm reading, because I'm a compulsive reader. So if I'm ever where you are and you're, like, have your screen up, if I see you're typing something, I try to get out where I can't see it because I'm not trying to read it, but I'm the person, I go in the bathroom, I read the labels on the bottles while I'm washing my hands.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I looked through the window and read, it said, touch it here, and it gave me a little video. I was like, woohoo!
which it never even occurred to me that the car would be telling us anything inside, but it tells you everything on the screen. It was actually kind of amazing, and I was saying that, we would consider buying a used one for beating around town for sure, but the one we had, I think it had some issues because it was extremely loud inside.
It was, but I think it was a cheap Tesla, which I was just excited because, anyhow, I was excited to be an electric car, and because our hotel had, so when we saw that, we checked, and our hotel had 26.
The entire 5th floor of the hotel parking garage was nothing but
the plug-in
the
chargers.
plug-in chargers.
So it was just very fascinating, and I'm like, woohoo, vacation time. We seriously mean it when we're the easiest, amused people ever.
We would definitely rent an electric again, I think, if we rented a car.
Yeah.
Especially if we were staying someplace that had lots of chargers.
Because even we never got below 50%, even with driving an hour every day. Obviously, it wasn't that many days. So while we were at the conference, we got to hear so many great speakers. Dr. Lyle was there. Dr. Goldhammer was there. Tammy and Tom were there from Nutmeg Notebook, and we had dinner with them one night. We almost had dinner with them a second night, but we ate early.
We just missed their texts.
And then Ramos Bravo made lunch, and so we got lunch provided at the conference, which was really nice. We didn't have to go anywhere. And then Chef AJ, Lisa Rice, who's my friend that you guys, she's coming on Thursday, and we're going to kind of talk about the issues with being perfect or perfection. So I think that's a good talk to have, because I'm noticing the more that we're talking about how we're doing 90%, or other people are like, you can't ever have nuts, you can't ever have salt. And that may be true for you, but it might not be true for everybody. Right. And so I think it's really important. I think one of the things that I'm learning, and I'm learning from hearing all the different speakers at that conference and on Chef AJ's lives and things, is that it really is an internal journey. And you kind of have to, some things Cheryl and I can figure out together, and some things we can't. I can't tell Cheryl if she's hungry.
Right.
I have no sensors for that, right?
And we still have different tastes for things. Like we still, even some days she'll have a taste for something, and then I won't have a taste for something. And on those days, I may make myself just some brown rice and vegetables, and she may make herself some fancy little bowl with her toppings and sauces on it.
More veggies. And I think that's one of the things that's been successful, though, and that's why prepping can be so much better. Just having rice, a couple of kinds of cooked potatoes, maybe having a soup in there. And, just so that way, if Cheryl just really wants one thing, she can have it, but then I can still have something really good. So neither one of us feel like our needs aren't being met. And I think that's super helpful. I think if you come in here and you're going to have boiled potatoes and steamed vegetables with nothing on it, you're really making your life a lot harder than it should be, because food is delicious. Healthy food is delicious too. It doesn't all have to be hyper palatable food to be delicious, which is kind of you know,
Yep.
just so you know that too. Like I have a new sauce. It's like the cheese sauce from the potato class without any cornstarch, and it still works and thickens up in the blender. And that makes it SOFAS friendly, so even more people can have it. But having a cheese sauce that's made of like nothing bad for you, and just having those flavors can really make things a lot more satisfying.
Yeah. So
You have to say the question too, because there are people who can't.
So, Video 1000 Nights is saying, she's asking with admiration and curiosity, did you guys evolve to look sort of similar or always look sort of similar? Just curious. You guys are looking great. Thank you.
We're short, pasty, white, middle-aged ladies.
We are,
as part of it.
but she, like, I finally convinced her to, like, come to the dark side of short hair because it's so much easier to deal with.
It's because I had a horrible haircut, and if you look,
there's
like,
one video with
it's
that
like
horror.
a really bad horror movie. You find it, and you're just like
Bob Upton.
no, that because I just told the lady, I'm like, just don't make me look like a Karen. That's all. And I thought we were like jiving and getting along, and we were on
And
the
she
same.
made her look exactly
No.
like a Karen.
I looked like a little like in the literal Middle Ages page boy.
It was so bad.
And when I realized, finally, I was avoiding doing a video. I did a video, and then I saw it, and I'm like, I'm going to pay a real hairdresser to do something real.
And
to
the
my
only
hair.
thing they could do to fix it was to just cut it really
pixie.
short.
To do a pixie, and I really liked just kind of not having to deal with it. And it goes through.
It does this automatically now. It like just, she gets
Yeah.
up and her hair looks good.
I wash my hands, and I put my hands in my hair, and that's it. And so I do like that.
I have to really work at my hair to make it look any kind of good, like for hours at a time.
And I think we're just both in black t-shirts, but we
Yeah.
are. I am probably of Polish descent. I'm adopted. She is from Polish
Definitely
descent.
Polish.
I do know the Polish people speak to me in Polish when they see me, so that gives me a clue, because I lived in a near a Polish neighborhood in New York. But no, I mean, usually I'm a little more femmy than she is, but I don't wear makeup. I'm like granola femme in that I don't usually wear makeup or anything, but I wear a purse, like dresses and stuff. Like I didn't as I got heavier, just because they didn't feel good, but I've been wearing a little more skirts and stuff now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the lunch, what was the lunch? It was a corn and brown rice cake with like I think it was a red pepper sauce and some vegetables with corn and things. It was really quite good.
Yeah,
and
then
there
we
was
had a little dessert.
It was like a apple crumble.
Like an apple crumble, yeah.
So that was really good.
Everything was really tasty and delicious. It was really good.
And it came just kind of at the right time.
Yeah.
And so at the hotel, so we had avocado toast the day before. So we looked at the thing, and it said vegan, oatmeal, and there were like blueberries, pecans, coconut milk. And I said, oh, can she get it without blueberries, because berries.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't want the nuts
on
either.
the side, and I was like, ooh, can
great.
I get soy milk instead of coconut milk? No, it's cooked in.
Yep.
So that made them extra high fat. Also made them delicious.
Yeah.
But
so we didn't do that the next day. We
No.
completely.
But we
ditched that.
did. I was like, I'm putting my pecans on there. If it's going to do this, I'm going to enjoy it to the max. And it was delicious, delicious.
It was good. And I think we walked enough, and we're on our, around enough.
We walked
that day.
a lot, more than I thought. I didn't think we would end up walking much at all since we had a car, but we walked 3 to 4 miles a day easily.
Yeah.
Even on travel days when the airport.
So after the conference, we went with Chef AJ and Tom and Tammy and some of the other speakers that were there.
And attendees.
And we went to this great restaurant.
Vegan Pho, PHO.
And they have an entire oil-free menu. Like
in addition to their regular
menu,
vegan.
but it's not just a couple dishes. Mm-hmm. It's like 12 different dishes that you can get, maybe even more, that you can get completely oil-free, completely compliant. And I believe Tammy was saying they'll also do salt-free or low salt if you let them know in advance or something like that. But
they had all kinds of Asian food. They had some Filipino dishes. That night I got Singapore My Fun, which I have a recipe for in Easy Vegan. So it's like rice vermicelli with not an Indian curry sauce. There's like an Asian curry. It's a yellow curry and vegetables. And it's delightful.
Yeah, and I had Kung Pao tofu, which was amazing. Like, I love Kung Pao. That is one of the things that I really was missing, and their oil-free version was just spot on, and it was delicious, and I really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it enough that we went back the next night for dinner, and I had the exact same thing.
And what did I got hot and sour soup. Oil-free, vegan hot and sour soup. I was so excited. We tried the vegetable dumplings. Steamed, of course. And I got a different tofu dish.
You did. You got something different, and I can't remember what it was, but you were like really liking it too.
It was all just And
we almost had too much food that night.
But again, we were still kind of looking at it, going, "Yeah, when we go out, look at how much food we're eating." But what we noticed, and actually it was that second dinner night, we were like, "Yeah, we ate a lot of food." But we were still at an 8.
Yeah.
And we were full all night. We didn't need any snacks or anything.
We didn't need anything.
And it seems like, and this is just kind of a theory, that when we eat food out that has oil, it seems that we don't eat as much then, but we're still having more calories. But it's actually not keeping that satiety muscle doing what it needs to do.
Even though it's more calories, it's not hitting the fullness nerve. Then after, Saturday night, we one of the ladies that we met at the conference, who had been following Kathy for a while, actually took us on a little tour around the Capitol area and stuff, and took some pictures for us.
Yeah, so there's actually pictures of both of us somewhere that's not at Disney. So the picture you see when we do this one is, it's a grave digger post or something or picture from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yeah.
But we just walked around a little bit, so we saw some of the Capitol and things like that. It was nice just after sitting all day and the day before travel, just to get some air and to be able to be out and about and just chat. And it was really nice.
It was cold, actually. I had to borrow a wrap to put around my arms because I was actually cold.
And it was interesting because I almost brought a jacket and I had pulled it out and I left it by accident.
Yeah.
So then the next morning we were like, let's go to Ross's and TJ Maxx and find us some stuff like that. But also, well, I guess we haven't gotten to that day yet. So then the next day, we knew we didn't want to go for breakfast in the hotel because we didn't want to have coconut milk twice because that's a lot of fat. But what I did do, so Cheryl, I got up before she did, and I wanted to take a walk. So there was a coffee shop that I found on Happy Cow, and I wanted to just kind of have a real quiet bit of solitude in a coffee shop. So from doing the 12 hours of traveling, now 12 hours of socializing, and so I walked to a coffee shop, not maybe a mile and a half away. I think it was less than a mile. And they had an Earl Grey tea with a chocolate coconut foam. It was iced. It was beautiful. And then they had vegan gluten-free muffins, and I decided I was going to have one. It was a lemon lavender muffin. And I sat there, and it was just all quiet and peaceful, and my brain got to mull around. And then Cheryl, I took pictures of stuff for Cheryl, brought her home. Fergus says hi. He likes to be where he wants to be. You want to jump? Oh, he's like, nope.
Doesn't want to be in camera today.
Usually he's jonesing to be on camera. And then I walked back and you had a baked chocolate donut. So that was our treat. And then we drove, no, we didn't drive around. Then we went to lunch at, was it Himalayan Vegan, I think?
Yeah, I believe so. That was Hira, who is part of our cohort for the McDougall program, is actually a member of the Sacramento Vegan Society. And she arranged for a luncheon at the Himalayan restaurant.
I originally thought it was going to be us meeting our friend from the McDougall program, but there were about 15 of us.
Yeah, about 15. It was great.
It was lovely. Everybody was wonderful, and if you were there, I loved meeting you. And since I got to have my little bubble of solitude for about an hour, I was ready to be back out in the world. And the food, so the way they do it at this restaurant is every day they have a plate of food and a soup. And you either get the small one or the large one. And if you call the night before, they'll make vegan food for you, or oil-free food for you. And then also someone else called and they were able to get salt-free food. So there was this lentil soup, there was brown rice, there was the salad that had like a date raspberry dressing.
Everything was so delicious.
A big pile of greens with a pureed mushroom sauce. It was so good. And they have green tea that goes along with that. It was a really delightful meal. I felt like the two we ate at Vegan Pho and then this Himalayan, they were just stellar. Like if we had something there, we would. If we had something here like that, we probably would do. We'd do it about every week. And I'm sorry, I am losing my words.
So Video 1000 Nights is asking, if someone is a volume eater and eats 3 baked potatoes without any butter or oil, do you think that is too much or probably okay? I think it's an individual thing. I think it depends on where you are.
How big are the potatoes? Potatoes can be this big to this big. Even because I've been mad at baking potatoes because they're all tiny right now. Yeah. And it depends if you're trying to lose weight. Are you successfully losing weight eating those 3 potatoes? There's a lot of different...
Yeah, a lot of things that come into play with that. Like, I think, I could eat 3 potatoes if that was all I was eating.
Yeah, and again, it just...
Because, I mean, think about, like, by the time you scrape all the stuff out and you smash it up on your plate, it's really...
And she's saying big ones.
Big ones.
And...
I don't know, that's hard to say.
Are you happy with how things are going? Do you feel like you're stretching out your stomach too much? I feel like 3 1-pound potatoes in one sitting would be more than my stomach would want. I could do 1.5 easy. 2 if I hadn't had much to eat. And I'm just trying to translate it to me. But what I would do is look and see, am I on my path that I want to be to? Am I feeling healthier? Is whatever my goal is being met?
Yeah, that might be another good question for Stacy too, because she knows more about how to translate volume and things into.
But she's also going to ask these same things, like, what are your goals? How is that going with you doing this? And usually if people will say, is it okay if I do X? It means you want to do X. And sometimes that works with your body and sometimes it doesn't. And this always cracks me up. Debbie says, are you both extroverts? You seem so sociable.
No, not at all.
I am truly an introvert. And in fact, you can see me kind of fading a little now because I've had so many people time the past 2 weeks that literally after yesterday, after my last live, I just wanted to like sob in a corner and sleep, but we ate dinner instead. But I have to have real quiet time to recuperate. So like sometimes if we go to Target and it's too crowded, especially if people are all like pushy, I have to come home, I get in the bed under the covers for about 30 minutes in the quiet dark. Let it all go, and then I can come back and be a functional human. I think you tend to a little bit of extroversion.
I have to be pretty comfortable with people to be extrovert, But like if I'm used to being around somebody, then I can be pretty out there.
Okay. So no, we're not. I could just stay in my house and be pretty happy. I do like little adventure.
I do have to get out more than you do.
Yeah.
I have to get out more than you do.
Like just hanging out with you guys on lives is a lot of socialization for me. It feels like it. It's not that I don't like being social, and like the vegan Indian buffet is this week. We got to decide probably tomorrow if we're going or not. And sometimes I look at it and go, can I be around a whole bunch of people again? Because even if we just went by ourselves, we're going to see a lot of people we know. So it's kind of like, homecoming for vegans over there in Durham. And Jennifer, tell me a little more. Tell us about weight loss and health benefits. Of the starch solution, there's a lot. So, I mean, like, it just kind of depends. If you can ask some more specific questions. I think I'm still between 25 and 26 pounds lost. You are over 30 pounds lost. You're probably over 32 now.
No, I've only lost like 20 something on McDougall.
Yeah, but, okay.
But since January, I've lost 30.
Okay.
But I was actively trying before McDougall too.
McDougall. See, we're out people. Now you're seeing it.
But then it happened really fast. And the thing with the McDougall, like the inflammation going away, just the energy level came up, just all these things that to me are just true health benefits of.
Yeah. And Jennifer's saying, I met since your last dual live. I haven't lost any weight since my last dual live. So my goal was for us to go on this vacation trip and not to really gain any weight. So
you succeeded in
that. I succeeded in that. So that was my goal. So also health benefit for me is I just got my labs back. My thyroid is finally back in check, which has nothing to do with my diet and everything for making Cheryl's life better. Because it was high and that makes you really cranky. But my liver numbers for the first time in years are smack dab right in the middle of normal. So they've been very, very high. So just losing this amount of weight has done that. So when I was talking to Stacy, what I said, because during the program, I wanted to lose at least a pound a week, 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. And the main reason was because with fatty liver and liver fibrosis, there's not a treatment. It gets really bad and you have to have a liver transplant. So that was my main goal. And what they say with fatty liver is if you lose, I think 15% of your body weight or 10% of your body weight, I forget the number, that you will either do better or reverse your fatty liver. And so that was my goal. And I have taken off more than 10% of my body weight, whatever that number was. It might have been 15. So that was very important to me. And when I was talking to Stacy, we were talking, because we did our play-by-play vacation with her and talked about the things, and I was ready for her to go, no, don't ever eat a muffin. And she was like, that's great. You guys did so amazing, and you didn't gain any weight. And because I said to her, I'm okay if I start losing weight slower, if I lose half a pound a week, or if I lose 2 pounds a month. Maybe one week I don't lose any weight, and another week I lose a pound, because it's not this I got to get this done tomorrow thing. Like I had a health goal. That health goal is improved. What I don't want to do is gain weight. Right. And I'm still looking to lose some more weight because I think I am not at my optimal weight and I'm going to feel better. But it's not as dire. It's kind of how I'm thinking about it. I don't know how you're feeling. How are you thinking about things now?
For me, I like the way we're doing things. We may not be losing massive amounts of weight a week. But we are also not on the maximum weight loss. We're doing this in the most sustainable way for us to do this for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, because we're not planning on, okay, we hit this magic number.
Yeah.
Woo! Now let's go eat all the French fries we can hold.
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. This is a lifetime thing, and we are both feeling so much better. Like, you can just tell how much more energy we have. She drains hers by doing all her crazy lives and stuff, but you know, I lost 2 pounds while we were on vacation, and probably because we were walking around so much. But I have a lot more to lose than she does. So I'm going to lose weight usually at a faster rate because I have more to lose. But I'm also okay, like she is, if I'm only losing, you know, a pound or 2 a week, I'm happy. I'm very happy with that. If I didn't lose any weight this week, I know exactly why I didn't, because I did some stupid overeating, you know, eating extra. It wasn't stupid. I just ate extra meals because I didn't choose too wisely. But I feel like overall,
and we're not going to be perfect anyhow.
Yeah.
Even when we're trying to be perfect, there's probably not going to be perfect happening.
Yeah, I've lost, since we started the McDougall program, I've lost, I think, 22 pounds. And I'm really happy with that. And I know I've got a lot more to go, and I know that I'm going to keep losing as long as I'm eating this way and moving my body more than I have. You know, before we did McDougall, I really wasn't able to move my body that much because I was sore all the time, or I was hurting all the time. And so, you know, now with this energy and stuff, I'm actually out and I'm moving more and I'm doing more things, which I think is really contributing to taking off that extra weight each week. And I'm real happy. Like, I've had to buy new shirts because none of my shirts fit real well. Everything just kind of hangs on me, and you know,
yeah, we're kind of I think you're ready for another size. I'm in between, so it's very interesting. That's why we're getting cheaper clothes right now too. But Carlene says plant-based dads recently made a video about volume eating. I haven't seen it yet, but I think they're great.
Yeah.
And Video 1000 says, I lost a lot of weight before whole food plant-based, but now fluctuating on the same 10 pounds over the past few years. Prior loss was 60. And what we do not, it says, Video 1000 Nights is a guy, and the picture is his daughter, and I just see these little teeny tiny pictures. So I don't know what it would, because I've not been in a situation where I'm trying to lose those last 10 pounds, and also I'm not sure what that looks like for me. Like, maybe I look like, I'm not planning on looking like a model or wearing a certain size or being a certain number on the scale. So I'm not there yet. And if we get to the point that we are at our last 10, 15 pounds, then we'll talk about that too.
We'll look at things differently. I'm sure there's going to be a point where we're going to have to, like, rein things in to get where we want to be. But right now, we don't have, like, these number specific goals. We have goals on how we feel, how we move, what we can do, like how much energy we have. And we also, like, I have one goal that might be considered a number goal, but that is, I would like to actually be able to tuck my shirts in and feel comfortable again. So I don't know what number that looks like, but I'll know it when I see it. It's not there yet, and it's got a ways to go.
But no, I think that's a great way to look at it, because I think, at least in our society and how the time and place that I grew up, I mean, one of the reasons we get such disordered eating is from thinking we need to be a 20-year-old that looks like a 12-year-old, you know, and things like that. So I think it is individual, and in our bodies are all different, right? Some people can eat all different kinds of things and have different things happen.
Like bread, bread affects me differently than it does her. Completely differently. Like, you don't always have that. Like, I almost immediately will gain a pound from eating 2 pieces of bread, right? So,
well, and for me, a lot of times it's different because from having a wheat intolerance, and I'm putting it back in, I get swelling in my joints. So before, there have been times that I've eaten wheat when we've gone on vacations before McDougall program, and I just had a lot of pain for a long time, like a month after that. So I think I tend to be a little more cautious about it because of that too. And we're never trying not to answer your questions, but we're also not doctors.
Right.
We're not Dr. McDougall, and we're not trying to give you any health advice. We are literally telling you what's working for us and what's not.
yeah.
And how we're trying it, though, so that they can try their own way.
Yeah, and I think that the main thing that everybody has to remember, you have to remember that everybody is different. Your chemical makeup is different. And, you know, what works for one person may not necessarily work for you, and you've got to figure out what it is that works for you. And so we're throwing what we're doing out there, so hopefully maybe it works for somebody.
Well, so that for me, okay, obviously we're not the same person. I just want to give you the information of what we're doing, and maybe you pick it up and go, oh, I could kind of decide this in this manner, and I didn't have any way to measure any of that. It's highly unlikely that you're going to want to eat exactly what either one of us eats. But I think there's some basics that really kind of transcend whole food plant-based, like brown rice, potatoes, vegetables. So there are a few things we can all agree on. Video asked, do you guys take omega-3? We do not worry about it.
No.
Dr. McDougall is not a big supplement person. B12.
B12 is it.
Is all he thinks is necessary. If you're testing low or having some sort of symptoms, I would see your doctor. And things like flax seeds and chia seeds can be added to food too. Obviously, they're seeds, so if you're trying to follow the starch solution to lose weight, you know, you gotta weigh that out a little bit.
Dr. McDougall in smaller groups is, he is delightful, actually. He will make you giggle. He loves to answer questions. He loves to answer your individual questions. And if you are willing to put your face on that Zoom and ask a question so he can look at you while he's answering the question, he will answer anything that you ask him. He has spent a lot of time.
Well, it was like over an hour Q&A every day in the 12-day program.
And then sometimes at night too. So. And
even now, twice a month, we get a live with him and Mary for being alumni of the program. So that's because again, and I don't want to go into details about it this time, but the program is expensive, but you do get medical supervision, you do get a lot of other things, and you get support for a year from a health specialist. So. Tracy Reese says, I want a loving cat. My cat only likes one person in this house. This is the first good cat we've had in a long time. So this is
the only one that doesn't want to be slashed.
This is the only one you've ever had that's super.
Yeah.
Now, Fergus is both sweet and spicy.
He is spicy.
So he says no means no. And there's no uncertain terms to that.
But when he wants snuggles.
He's very snuggly.
He's very snuggly, but he can be aggressively snuggy.
It's true. Jennifer says, I absolutely see you're feeling good. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. All I need is a little more sleep in my life. So hopefully that'll... and let's see what else. I do not have a curry leaf plant, but I love curry leaves. So I have some dried and I have some frozen in the freezer. Aw, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Yeah. And this is kind of how I'm thinking. You're living healthfully. The weight loss is a bonus. Mm-hmm. So if I could have like twirled around and done 3 times and done 10 jumping jacks to make my liver numbers changed, I would have done that. But, you know, eating this way seems to help a lot of health conditions. And obviously you should see your doctor. We see Dr. Lem, Dr. McDougall, and Dr. Stacy Bean is our local doctor in Chapel Hill. And hey, Marilyn. Oh, you have an orange kitty, Susan? He's a mess. And he lived outside. And, of course, we were feeding the stray cats. Now Cheryl has taken up the mantle. Like, I used to be the stray cat lady in New Orleans.
I feed all the stray cats.
And some raccoons, too, which is
and
great.
And a possum, which I want the possum to be well fed because I would like him to stay here and take care of my snakes that I don't like to see.
So Fergus lived on our property, and that makes it sound like we have this estate. It's like an acre, and probably like half of that is we can't build on or anything in the back. In the front, he was living there, but we have a driveway that has like a cement pipe that goes underneath it.
Yeah, storm drain.
Storm drain, and he was living there during the winter, and we didn't know how stray or not stray he was. He would come and he'd say hello. And then we have a little thing out the front. He would jump up on the little bench and go, meow, meow, and we come feed him. And then so sometimes I'd just come look, and he'd be sitting there looking at me like, I'm not feeling hungry yet. And then we have a 2nd-story deck with some steps on the back, and I was working out there, and he came up, and he literally just jumped on me and just laid down, and he was like, you are mine now. And we let him come in, and he's been living with us for a year and a half.
A little over a year, since July of last year.
So I have a door to the side, which you guys see in the side camera some, and he just hangs out on that little upper deck and looks out at the world and lives his best sweet and spicy life.
He does. But he and Max get along pretty good in their own kind of brotherly way. They pick on each other a little bit. Well, Fergus picks on Max more than Max picks on Fergus.
Yeah. Well, and video says he couldn't lose weight with Kathy's cooking. Oh, yes, you could, because it is delicious and filling. You would get full.
Yep. But you would never have the same thing twice. So if that's good for you, you would love eating Kathy's food. However, if there's something that she makes that you really, really like, you'll never get it again.
I'm always tweaking things and making things better. So yeah, it is. There's some things I give you that you like. But I do often kind of keep making things better. Okay, Kitty Mom says the plant-based dads are talking about the 40,
we did see that.
400-calorie meals. They've been doing a lot of videos making those 400 calories.
Yeah.
And Tracy Reese says, Cheryl, are you eating gluten-free bread? That will slow you down. I don't eat as much as regular bread. So Cheryl doesn't.
I eat Ezekiel bread.
She doesn't eat gluten-free.
No.
Now, we both eat Banza pasta because that's what we have around now. I'm the one who is eating gluten-free, but I'm finding I can have an Ezekiel bun or piece of bread a week without having any issues. So, but typically with other things, we have gluten-free pasta, and the bean pasta, while it's very good, it is higher in calorie density than the wheat one. So I agree with you, Tracy Reese. Like I used Spa Betty's cauliflower recipe, so I used gluten-free Bob's Mill 1-to-1. It was like half that, half almond milk to make the batter for the cauliflower. All right. And 1000 says, I'm not at my ideal. My last 10 pounds is probably 10 to 20 too much versus ideals, but I'm okay with it if I'm healthy. Yeah, and I mean, I think it just kind of, when you get to that nitpicky, then it gets so personal and how your body wants to be. Diana says, I found out I was low on B12, and neuropathy can be a side effect of low B12. Yeah. So I highly recommend, as just a human being out in the world, at least once a year, go to your primary care physician and get your labs done. They'll do your B, your D, some other vitamins. They'll check your thyroid, make sure it's kind of doing, because you just get a lot of information.
Well, and Dr. Bean, that's one of the reasons why she's always telling me I need to up my B12, because she would like it to be higher to avoid any kind of
well, except for the
complications.
time that
B12, not D.
yeah, your D.
My D got too
She was
high.
on megadosing, and the doctor's like, "Stop taking it today. That your number's too high." But these aren't numbers that you magically know. So
Yeah.
I definitely think of that. With flax, chia, and hemp seed, I would use some. Like I would make a flax egg and use it in something like that. So it's not that I won't use it at all, but I'm also not eating chia pudding every morning for breakfast either.
Yeah, we limit seeds and nuts.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
something.
You froze, and I'm like, okay. Marie says the McDougalls also do a free Q&A every Sunday for the public on their YouTube channel, and do go there for sure. My batteries are run all the way out, I tell you. So like there will be no talking. So when I say there'll be no talking, Cheryl, does that mean I just don't talk to them? Do you want to explain what me?
That means she doesn't talk to anyone. That means like she just glares at me if I'm trying to talk to her, because I'm supposed to know that she's not talking. So she will only say something when she wants something or to tell me to be quiet.
It's true, though. I'm laughing because it is true. But usually what I try to do when I'm in that space that I'm so, like, beyond no energy is I do try to just kind of lock myself in the bedroom.
She does try to lock
quiet,
herself away
spa music.
so that she doesn't kill me.
Well, and the thing is if I'm just that exhausted and that drained mentally,
Yeah.
even the animals are too loud. Because what it is it's anything that makes my brain being around somewhere.
Yeah.
Because my brain is like, I'm tired, stop the pinging.
Yeah.
So I will be very quiet the next couple of days. Sherry says that she has some small curry plants as well as huge ones. Ooh, I would love one. You just have to tell me what I need to do, and can I bring it inside in the winter, or can it stay outside in the winter? I would love that. He had a cat for 19 years and he misses it. It was also a lap cat. We lost my step cat, Cheryl's cat, 3 or 4 years. No,
this year.
Wow, it seems like
It was in January.
she was getting really old. How old was she? Was like
18 or 19. Yeah.
And then Irma was like,
Irma was 20.
and that's the cat I had for forever. And Irma was more personable, but she had very good boundaries. She was trying to teach me about boundaries. And Moxie was
all over.
she was raised by a dog mom and dog. So Moxie she
was confused.
She had a hard time. I am pleased Fergus found me too. Oh, you're so cute. I appreciate that, Debbie. And it's just how everything has panned out the past 2 weeks. Like I forgot that the book sale was this weekend, and then I had taught 2 classes. So I was like yesterday, if I stay in my pajamas, can I do 3 lives? Yes. If I get out of my pajamas, can I do 3 lives? No. So I figured, why not? Terry does B12 injections. She had the bypass surgery, which caused you to need B12. And you know what else is eating vegan and plant-based means you need B12.
Yeah.
You need to take a B12 supplement. And if Dr. McDougall, who hates all the supplements, is telling you to take a B12 supplement,
You need to take a supplement.
that's good enough for me. Oh, awesome. And thank you. I just, there's just something glorious about, I wear my Halloween shirts all year long, but we're getting near my month. and I'm very excited about it. And you like Halloween too, so.
I do like Halloween.
And we've been going into Home Goods and TJ Maxx and looking for all the Halloween stuff that hopefully you guys will see soon. But I think we are going to say goodbye. Do you have anything else you want to add about the trip? We did do avocado toast again in the airport on the way back, which was unplanned because we got to change our plane at 10. So we were expecting, we had found out there was a great place that had oatmeal at the airport where we could sit down.
But we did not get to there because of a delay. We did not get there in time to be able to get there.
It was their problem. Who switches from breakfast to lunch at 10 a.m.? I thought it would not be until 10:30 or 11, so I wasn't worried
But if we would
at
have
all.
landed when we were supposed to, we would have been able to get it.
We may have made that. So we had, and then also, did we do anything else? No, we had, then that was in the Sacramento airport. Then we got on, so this was in the morning.
Yeah. It was
the morning going back. So it wasn't a plane thing.
No.
Yeah, because we're going home now.
Oh, that's right. And then we went and got the avocado toast at the wine place.
Do you feel like you're talking to a married couple?
You know,
So anyhow,
it's all a big rule.
It was so long ago now. It was like Tuesday. It was a whole week ago.
It feels like forever ago already.
And then when we had our stopover, that's when we had dinner at a place, and you got a veggie burger with no fries, because if the fries were there, we were going to eat them. So, and we were not paying $6 for a side salad for them to take food away. We felt funny about that. And I got a side salad, which was a dinner plate salad, and had some carrot hummus, so I was able to share some with her.
Yeah. It was plenty. We were good.
Yeah. So, thank you for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. And the Tuesday lives will continue. Maybe once every couple of months we will miss it, but you'll know the day before because you won't see it scheduled. Lee says my dog hears Max and got up to bark at him. That happens if there's a dog on the TV or anything like that.
Video is asking, what do we put in our oatmeal by default? I always default to a little brown sugar. And Kathy likes blueberries and lemon zest. Yeah.
With just a little bit of maple syrup. No, it's like a lemon blueberry muffin. And so Facebook user says, it's hard to believe I don't like to talk. You talk more than Cheryl on the lives. You both are fun to listen to. Thanks for sharing. Some of it is because Cheryl will leave out pertinent information and then things seem very misleading. And so whereas today I really was hoping more than hope that she would talk a little bit more, and she's been a little more introverted on this live than usual. Yeah. And I can tell she gets a certain look around her eye, and I know she's not going to explain it. So when we're talking about this stuff, I feel like it's important that we be very clear. When I'm doing my cooking demos, I feel like it's my job to be really clear. So yeah, it's, in my mind, it's more about me hopefully helping you guys understand the information. And I don't feel like it's ever about me just talking just to talk.
No. She, even in our normal day-to-day life, sometimes she has to pull things out of me because I lose my train of thought really quickly. So.
And we're both a little tired from the trip, so.
Yeah.
In the hotel, do you think you can use a coffee pot to cook oatmeal? I'll be traveling soon. I'll show you this really quick. I'll answer these questions and I'll show you these things we got to take with us. The thing is like in the coffee pot, you don't know what else they made in there. You don't know how often they've cleaned it, and I'm a little germophobic.
Well, and a lot of the coffee pots that we've seen lately, they don't even have pots.
Yeah.
They just are, you make it in a cup.
And video saying lemon zest is interesting, and lemon zest gives a really bright burst of lemon without it being sour. And I say only do it with non-organic should you feel good about it. I wash my lemons really good. I use Branch organic stuff on it. And then, and sometimes I'll get non-organic and sometimes they get organic. It just depends which ones look best. If the organic ones are puny and cost twice as much and maybe are going to last a day, I'm going to get the conventional ones. But that's me. Let me show you these things. I brought some around and we are going to do some demos. So we got a bunch of Satiety stuff. So this is one of the things. This is a little hot pot. And it's stainless steel on the inside. And you can just use it like this, or you can put this steamer. So I was thinking we could make rice in the bottom and steam vegetables on the top. And do you want to get that one out? So then they have 3 other ones. This is the jumbo one, and there's a regular one. And they do have some plastic even in the cooking part. Well, this one doesn't. You put some water in there and you're steaming in all of these. I know, I love that hot pot too. They are not cheap. So that's the only thing, but
that one actually came, that the one that came damaged?
Yeah, this one came damaged. It's just, see, you can see the dent. And I asked if we could have this other one instead, and they gave it to us. But like also there's another part of something, that piece of plastic that broke off too. I forgot about that. So they have a little egg thing which we're never going to use. So we don't care. But so I could put some dry rice and water in here, or vice versa. I could heat up all my, if we're doing 50-50 or more, this is where the rice is going to be, and heat up maybe some tofu. And then you just start it. So that one doesn't have any plastic in between. These 2 do. So this is a jumbo. And so there's one thing in the top that, and then this plastic thing stays on. So, but and you don't leave the plastic covers on when you're cooking. And so it has the same sort of thing in the bottom, just another extra one. So we could easily do enough food for Cheryl and I in this one.
This one.
It has 2 layers, and it's like more like a bento box, and has some more settings.
And then it has this plastic piece that goes in between the 2 layers.
And then this is the size on the bottom. And again, you put these on and they stay on really good for travel, but when you're cooking, then we just have it stacked like this. And you can cook stuff from scratch. You can cook frozen vegetables, and we're going to be doing a big car trip. And we'll talk more about this. Cheryl got a battery pack for us to plug these into because she has a hybrid, and some of the things were too much to be pulling off of the battery. So hopefully that helps. And Kathy brings a small Pyrex bowl to cook oatmeal in the microwave. Just make sure you're getting a microwave. I'm noticing more and more it's a 50-50 thing with the microwave and the fridge. Just make sure that you're going to have one. And I think that's great. Brings dish soap. Branch Organics, or it's not Branch Organics, Branch Cleaning Stuff has a little travel kit that we got as well. And we'll try and do a demo maybe next week on that and show you some of it. How I'd love a job that justifies all the kitchen gadgets. I know. And don't even put that one back. We've got to put the lids on. Okay, guys, so since you asked that question, I put them out because I'm like, I have a feeling. Oh, yeah, I've used the microwave in the lobby breakfast area, and that's how
we saw that at the hotel that we were at.
And they also had a place to refill water bottles, and you could even get hot water over by the ice, so check that out, too. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people before we go?
No, everybody just keep hanging in there and have a great week, and we will see you next Tuesday. And
with Stacy,
we'll have Stacy on,
so she can do all the talking, hopefully.
Yeah.
And maybe my voice will actually come back. It's been going for 2 weeks. All right, you guys, just try and be kind to yourself wherever you are. If you're making all these big changes and you're changing your diet, maybe changing how you move your body, changing how you think, remember that can make you a little bit more tired. And make sure that you're resting and taking good care of yourself.
And drinking plenty of water.
I think that's a great thing. So I will see you guys really soon. You can always email me at Kathy Hester if you have any questions for me, or you can email Cheryl at support@healthyslowcooking.com. Can't wait to see you guys.